Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope that things are well in your world. We've got another MTG Arena Alchemy Horizon Baldur's Gate best of 3 traditional draft. That's a bit of a mouthful. In this one I draft a color pair that I've drafted before, but somehow managed not to get any of the synergy pieces for it, which was a little weird, but it meant we got a good stuff deck, which I'm pleased to say seems viable in this format. If you're digging the content, whether it's the magic stuff or the cycle stuff or storybook brawl or whatever it is that I'm playing, it would mean a lot to me if you'd subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of a big milestone for YouTubers. So click that sub button if you like it. Come back, and thank you so much for watching. Enjoy today's draft. I like Fury. Does Swedish have Germanic roots? Because, like, good after midday, I can get that. Like, that makes sense. Same language family? Okay, I was going to say, because that just seems like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I think I like Fury here. Terve. I could see an argument for Scanos, but I don't think it's as good as Furry. Uthgard Furry. What's a furry? Yeah, that's probably what we want here. What do we want to wheel? I mean, ideally, the Sepulchre Ghoul. I'm just going to call him Paul, and we're going to avoid all of the problems with me being able to say this word. This is Paul. This pack a little harder for me to make pick from. I do like green-black. I'm barely able ever to get into it. If I was, this would be pretty good in it. It's important to remember it does not have Death Touch. It gains Death Touch when it attacks. We learned that the hard way when I tried to block a 5/5 with it and realized that I had chomped with my uncommon. I think it's probably the best card here, even though it probably doesn't go with Furry. There's a chance you could, like, splash it in a, you know, green-red or red-black deck. You just probably wouldn't want to because it's such a high synergy card. But let's see if that opens up. May as well be open. That's what we do around here. This one looks like a band together, especially if we're even remotely considering green. I do like Thrakkus a good bit. I don't love Trilacera, although she's playable. But this is just a premium removal spell. So pretty interested in that. Let's get that going. Finnish must not be in the same language family as, like, Germanic languages, because nothing looked, like, familiar to me as we were studying some of that. Whereas, like, some of the Swedish phrases and Dutch phrases and German phrases, I'm like, that sort of sounds familiar. All right, this is kind of our point to determine where we'd like to go, because we've got a Rabble Rouser, which is a very good 2-drop, and the Myconid, which is kind of the glue holding together most green decks. And I think I prefer the Myconid, which means we're probably getting rid of the Furry, but, like, I don't mind. This is just a decent removal spell. And we've got reasons to be interested in black, but really don't have to be paired with something else. Ideally, we get past a really good card of a certain color, doesn't matter what, next pack, and we can kind of get there. Okay, that makes sense why some of the Swedish phrases seemed familiar to me, and none of the Finnish phrases seemed familiar. I've always been fascinated with that. Like, if you go back far enough, all languages were kind of the same thing. Sort of. Not really. This pack kind of stinks. I'm not interested in getting into blue here. Although I could. I don't have a solid path into dragons. Not a green card. I've not been impressed with the Walrus. because like you can just get the myconids in there better. I think you've told me that before, Ice Rock. That was fascinating. I suppose the salad would play the nicest with what we're doing before so far. So I'll pick that and see if we are actually going to end up in green-black. This feels like a pretty easy herd gorger. Because like I feel right now like our build is these 3 cards, Horde Gorger, Myconid, band together, and then we'll kind of figure out what else is going on. Black's looking good. It won't take much for me to be like, we're playing black. I do like these lands. That's a late adjacent Charmed Sleep. I'm not ready to look for blue when there's another good green card here. I will happily draft blue, but it is worth noting it's the worst color in the format. And I kind of need to get forced into it. Because I think right now these two are probably better than the Charmed Sleep. But we will see. Thus, we will see. Ooh, a Basilisk. I like a good Basilisk. This would play nicely, potentially, in green-black, but like I want a lot of synergistic pieces. Like, this is a start, the Chain Devil's a start, but the Basilisk's just a good solid unit, and I can avoid that decision a little longer. Okay, this was the best black card in that pack, and it's wheeled. There's also the Imp, which I quite like. Like, I think this has to come from your graveyard. Put there from your library. Okay, yeah. So I can't sacrifice something and recast it. But I do think this is like another potential pull into black. I don't love the Manticore, but you can play it. So like, I think we're starting to say this might be what we're doing. But both of these are pretty good. I'll take a Trax. It's probably not currently in. But between that and the Myconid, we could splash something. There's also just nothing wrong with the card. Like, I've already got a 6-drop. We could pretty happily play it. I don't want to play Eye of the Beholder, but you can play it. Play what you want for the splash and be free. Find the Halfling! This is an interesting one. I think I go with the Meteor Golem, as it is meatier than the other cards. But this Guildsworn Prowler is really good. Like, the Myconid plus the Trax makes me want to, like, just throw this on in there and be like, this is what we're doing now. And if we get fortunate enough to get a little bit of self-mill and some reanimation shenanigans, that's just even more fun. This is not great. This is an interesting one between the Prowler and the Myconid. I think there's so much ramp in green that I can take the Prowler here. But I could respect the Myconid. We're kind of hoping to wheel either the Chain Devil or the Summon Undead. But I think if I can get 2 more Death Touch 2-drops, that'd be fantastic. So let's take one here. They play very nicely with band together, coincidentally. There's nothing to see here. Move along. This pack kind of sucks for us. The more I play with the Grim Wanderer, the more I kind of hate it. But it is something you can play. I could also take a Beholder as like a fail case 6-drop / like a way to interact with an enchantment from the sideboard, which is interesting-ish. But I think I'll take this as just something I can play if I need to. This Cleric goes right in my deck. I love this card. This may be my favorite 2-drop in the set. It just ticks so many boxes for me for 2-drops. Like, it's a 2/1 on turn 2, it attacks, it blocks, it does everything you would want. And if you draw it later, it's 6 mana for the best card in your graveyard. Like, what 2-drop is going to be relevant that late in the game? Not many. I like Line Up the Shot as a main deck card. We're not quite at a deck that wants to play Circle of the Land Druid, but we could be. I'm pretty happy just throwing one of these in the deck, though, so I think I'm going to take that. The Imp, I'm pretty happy playing. There'll be things that trade. The Scry is relevant. The Flying is pseudo-relevant. I'm pretty happy with where we are. Our black isn't wonderful, but it does pair nicely with the green. We really didn't end up with that much self-mill synergy. But we'll see if that Animate Dead wheels. We could use that. Wow, that's a late Lulu. Lulu. Not for us, though. I think I'm most likely to play the Iron Golem out of this pack, or at least bring it in. Weird. I think this was the pack we wanted a couple cards out of and we didn't get them. I'm pretty happy to play an Arcane Archery. Okay. I think I'd prefer the Chain Devil. It fills in the curve nicely. And we've got like one thing to sacrifice that we're pretty happy to. And I might pick up another one of those if we're very lucky. It's also just a fine card. Easy way to get stuff in the graveyard. Paul is not looking great in this deck currently. We didn't really end up with any cool stuff to sacrifice. But, like, that's fine. I wouldn't mind like a solid black removal spell to go along with all of this. That'd be quite nice. Yes, blue cards are not being taken. We can see this. We could still pretty easily splash a single color card if there's anything we see that we want. Is this set coded so that there's a legend in every pack? It seems like it would almost have to be for Commander Draft. We can't splash that, obviously. We could splash this, but I feel like another Band Together is just better. It gives us 3 premium removal spells. And it makes me even more inclined to play the Arcane Archery, because it'll be easier to leave up when we have so many of these. So kind of just need a couple more good creatures and we're done. And like worst case scenario, they can be an Iron Golem, a Manticore, and a Grim Wanderer. We got us a deck. Packed Weapon I don't care for. I'm looking here to see if there's anything we would want to splash, and I don't think there is. I think I am going to take this Myconid and then start actively looking for another 6 or 7 drop. This would make something like a Baleful Beholder a little later better for us. Just having the extra token makes the Chain Devil better, and it does literally mean that if we see a splash card, we can just take it now. We've already got 3 any color sources, which I think is a big strength of green in this format. Can't really play this Guardian Naga, although I have overall liked that card. That's a splash that I kind of don't want. Because there's another Bonecaller Cleric, which I want, and a Prowler, which I want, and a Meteor Golem, which I want. I think I need the Meteor Golem more. And then if we're incredibly fortunate, we'll wheel one of these two, which is not likely. But I just said I'm in the market for another 6 or 7, and this is a phenomenal 7. I do like a Lenorm as well. This is probably the maximum top end I can play. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, what's my creature count at now? 14. I've got room for about 4 more cards. I think we can take Favorite Enemy. I've never gotten to play with this card because it comes by a little too late. I don't think I want to summon Undead without any self-mill synergy, which we don't have. I've got 1 Cleric to potentially reanimate stuff. The only milling we're doing is from Kaga, whereas Prey Upon is, I mean, kind of fine. It's not great, but it'll get the job done. Spaslisk is great. Absolutely fantastic. I'd rather have the Prowler, but like, this certainly gets the job done. Job's done. If we need a random filler 3-drop, I'd probably prefer the Moon Druid to the Vampire Spawn. It attacks and blocks a little better. Just more stats. I don't think I'm playing it. I hope I'm not, but I could. I don't think I want to Blood Pact. Would really surprise me. Well, I may as well just take the rare for collection purposes. The 2 if we want to bring it in, I guess, is fine. Null Hunter's an interesting card. It was so good in its own set. And in this set, it's, I mean, kind of bad. I don't really want to put it in the deck. Like, you could. It's just not very good. So what if the last card is another Imp? How do we feel about that? I think I feel pretty comfortable with that. I brought this in some and not been unhappy with it. So we kind of ended up with not a real compelling reason to be playing black. But I feel like green was quite open. I'm just going to take the uncommon for collection purposes. I've got 2 kind of mediocre 2-drops to bring in if I need them, right? No, just the one, the Hunter, but I think 5 is plenty. This Paul doesn't really fit in with what we're doing. But I figure it's an extra 2-drop, and I have noticed that people play a little bit more aggressively on the weekends. That doesn't look so bad, does it? All right, what sleeves are talking about some graveyard shenanigans? It's important to pick good sleeves for your decks. I think that's the highest qualification as to whether or not they're going to win. Yeah, nothing's really screaming graveyard shenanigans to me. Maybe the closest we can get is Professor Bear. I like Professor Bear, and I feel like you don't get to see Professor Bear often enough. You know what? Let's be elementals. Why not? Life is good. Life is good. It is good to be Semulin. Right, let's take the play. Not lovely, but workable. Workable. This is Baldur's Gate draft. We've drafted a black-green deck. When I'm playing Magic, it is generally draft on Arena. It's not entirely a trade I want to make, but if needs be, that's what 2-drops are for. Maybe not now. Oh, they don't want to make the trade. That's bizarre. Yeah, it's green-black. Witherbloom. Golgari. Or just green-black. Alright, let's give Kaga a chance to do her thing. Show me what you got. I will take a free Basilisk all day long. That's pretty cool. What type of Magic do you play, Magic Nerd? Right. Played it to block it. Right, we're going to need a Meteor Golem, which we will have next turn. Can only play one of these, right? A land or cast permanent. Okay. We'll take the Hood Gorger. It should put us okay. Like, I do need to kill that, but it should be relatively easy to kill. Assuming they don't have a counter smell. They've got a Lindsay, which is not ideal, but... that's an easy way to take her out. I'm trying to decide if we want to attack with Kaga this turn. I don't think we do, because we're definitely playing the Meteor Golem. Because this has to go first. So I think that means we can't attack with the Herd Gorger. Like, Lindsay's still scary, but I can deal with that next turn. All right. The hits keep coming and they won't stop coming. No, it does make sense to use it here. What does this do when it dies? You get cards. Yeah. We're still in rough-ish shape because the Dragon Familiar can give this flying, and that's just smacking us for 4 a turn. I may have needed to attack with the Herd Gorger in that case. I think I did. This doesn't give trample or anything, right? No. Does reanimating anything matter? Reanimating the Meteor Golem matters a good bit. There, now we're back in it. I don't see any reason to be holding lands. It's not like we're going to connive or loot them away with this deck. I think we got some value out of Kaga. She basically drew us a couple cards. I'll take that. Alright, we'll do the blocking thing. Trying to decide if we kill John now or what. And I think the answer is yes. Not quite lethal. Very close to it. Ah, they found a way. With the specialized, she's lethal. Okay. It was a close game. They've got some very powerful cards. I feel like removal is important enough that I'd like to get in the eye of the beholder. And that countering their removal isn't what we're doing, so the Lenore may not be necessary. I've got enough removal though, I just kind of didn't hit any of it. But this feels like the right call. I don't want something like clutches, like I'm not going to fight them on the card advantage axis. They're way too ahead of that for me. The skies are a bit of an issue, so if we had like an Etter cap, I'd bring it in. I think our best shot there is to line up the shot, quite literally. So we'll give that a shot. Manticore could be okay, now that I think about it. It's really not great, though. Yeah, I don't think I want that. I'd be trying to flash it in to block Lindsay or whatever, and it doesn't strike me as a terrific idea. We could do it. Just seems not great. Some potential here. We will at least be casting the big things. I thought there was a green elemental. Is that it? Looks greenish. Bob, thank you for the resub. How you been, my friend? Acknowledged. Life is good. It is good to be Semulin. We shall spam some cats now for Bob. Bomb answered. Kind of a 3-for-1 if you think about it. Hiya! I mean, you can bounce it all you want. You're just delaying the inevitable. We've gained like 9 life off of this thing. I think I like this in the Imp this turn. Obviously need to save a removal spell for the Serpent. Or one of the Serpents. Like, I think if they hit their lands, that'll be the biggest threat. Although, okay, fair enough. I will kill that. I don't mind them milling me. That works. Wow. Okay, so this opponent is susceptible to tilt. That is quality information. Our best bet is probably that their mana's bad. I don't love archery and band. I'm going to have to be really careful how I use these spells with them having 2 bounce spells. Like, that's legitimately terrifying. But I think we're configured the best we possibly can be for this. It's just still a little scurry. It's not a lovely opener, but it's got some solid draws. Black Source obviously being the best one. Hello, Drake. How you doing? Yeah, sure you got me. I like this set a lot too. Not down a card, you see. This is my favorite set, I think, since Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Which is kind of funny that they're such different sets, but have some of the same cards in them. Gonna need to save this cleric. Kind of need to rip a land. Wow. Thank you so much. If they don't kill one of these Myconids, I just win this game, right? Unless they have another counter spell, I suppose, but... Oh, well, that just makes it nice and easy. That's fine. Well, not entirely fine, but it does mean they have to tap out to cast it, and I can just Meteor Golem it and keep attacking. This has been quite the battle. Got there. Yeah, if they shot my Myconids instead of my face, I probably lose that game. But they didn't. Maybe that's what you're talking about, where your opponents can make some misplays. Because I don't know what was in their hand. I don't know what their decisions were, but maybe they didn't know that's how the card worked. But I'm pretty happy that they didn't, because that certainly worked out to our favor. I haven't really looked into it much, Drake. But I'm certainly interested in checking it out. I'm probably cycling the shot. We need to make sure... You know what? I'm just going to do it. We need to make sure we hit our land drops. This deck especially is very interested in that. I don't think having the Basilisk down matters as much as just hitting this on curve. Oh, nice. I've drafted a lot of green. I've been incredibly happy with green. I haven't seen much come out of Guild Thieves, so that's kind of interesting to see. I could get run over here. I'm going to try the Lenormand. But this is a high-risk play. If they have any instant speed interaction, we'd probably get blown out. I really don't want to play the Basilisk until I can play it and band together at the same turn. They may be able to read me for this. But it would appear that they cannot. And if they cannot, I can get right out of this. Because, like, this is the entirety of their attacks. We'll just kill the Guild Thieves. Creatures in your hand, +1/+1. That's a really good card. Meteor Golem's great against them. We just kind of need to be able to resolve it. The Ghoul can certainly get some work done, given what they've given me to work with. Hey, what's up, John? Good to see you. I want to go ahead and get the token out. Alrighty. Yeah, the sound bug's annoying. It'd be really nice if that wasn't there. I didn't know this didn't work with tokens. That makes it better and worse. Hey, what's up, Orcish? How you doing? Well, you're supposed to be able to tell what they do from the picture. That's why it only shows you the picture on the table, right? So what does this do? That's your next spell. Oh, you get lifelink. That's pretty cool. Well, did you get platinum constructed? That thing's pretty good. That is not going to be easy for us to defeat. Yeah, actually, that looks good. Ugh. I'm sorry to hear that, man. This technically would trade for it, so let's see if they have a counterspell first with this. If they don't, I can just block it and trade them off. Because I'd have to use both Meteor Golems to get them under those circumstances. She still specializes, though, which is bloody terrifying. Okay, so they just drew a card. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right, this kind of sucks, but let's do it. I can get the 2 cards back from the gates. What fancy restaurant did you go to the other day, Martin? I really like it, Painter. I didn't enjoy the last 2 sets very much at all. I thought they were kind of actively bad. All right, at least it's not coming back with that ability. Well, it would appear it's not coming back at all. So, very well. Still got a couple removal spells we can hit, but we're getting to the point where like we kind of have to hit it now or we're just dead. That is sadly not one of them. So let's see if maybe you can hit me one. We'd need a band together, I think. Ironically, it would work. But we've not the mana. I guess we couldn't play the band together either. I felt like we were in pretty good shape there until we weren't. So their main way of getting me seems to be tapping my guys, which we can take advantage of a little bit with the ghoul. I really need to not cycle this because they've got some solid targets for it. Yeah, the deck's a lot of assassinates. It's kind of like a tempo blue-white build, which is probably the best way to play blue-white in this format, which is also kind of why I don't play blue-white in this format. I don't love the Chain Devil. Well, yeah, I do. If they're playing, this is our best configuration. I just need a little bit better draw. We got stuck on lands there for a little bit. Like having a heavy casting cost deck, getting stuck on 4 lands. Actually, it was 3, wasn't it? We drew 3 lands. Well, this one's not going to have that problem, I guess. So that's good. So we draw any creature, and that's pretty good. That is a curve I am not super likely to beat with any draw. Certainly not this one. Loo. All right, this is cool. Not in a rush. I feel like we're fundamentally dead here because they're kind of likely to have a counter spell at this point. Yeah, I mean, we needed a creature that was we're able to cast somewhat, obviously. Okay, they may not actually have a counterspell. So if I can hit like a 3-drop, maybe we can do something? I mean, this is not good, but it's something? Kind of feel like we're probably still dead. If they have the counterspell, I'm just dead. I don't think I can play the Chain Devil. It has to be this and band together. But I think they don't have the counterspell. Okay. Technically alive, which is the best kind of alive. Kind of suspect we're not in this, but you kind of want to believe, don't you? Just a little bit. But then it was all over, gang. Yeah, I gained too much life. And that's surprisingly close. There's nothing I can hit off of this that does anything, right? No, and not still have the mana. We sure did. We sure did. We were almost there, man. I think without the mana troubles, we're in decent shape in that matchup, but we had mana troubles, and 'tis part of magic. Overall, I'm still a big fan of this format. It feels like there's a lot of different things that you can do. Whether you want to do a very aggressive deck or a control-y deck, a dirtily deck. For me, that is the hallmark of a good format. We can give this a try. Excuse me just a second. Huh. I don't know that this deck in the... Yeah, it would want to mill itself in the blind, wouldn't it? Just need something to trade with that, though, so I think we just play it out. I probably should have done it before. Sim Baby's great. She's doing fantastic, and I am super happy to be dad. This is just your classic 3-color Steadfast Unicorn deck. How are things in your world, Painter? It's hard to underrate a card that's unplayable. But that's sort of what makes this set so much fun, right? Is you can play cards that make you happy, I can play cards that make me happy. I think it's part of what makes Magic quite good these days. They just, like, I'm joking, obviously, when I say it's unplayable. They don't make unplayable cards. I think it's pretty bad, but I also tend not to draft decks that can utilize them particularly well. If you're in a deck that isn't particularly aggressive, they're not very good, somewhat, obviously. I literally watched you play Blood Artist on Wednesday. And masterfully play yourself into Flood. Yeah, but if you want to play a sacrifice deck, you can. Hiya! Well, that's the trick. I do think I'd enjoy that format. Just for whatever reason, I can't play Magic online. Like, I want to. I'm just not allowed to. They must have put my name on some kind of list. Third highest white common OFC, I mean. I don't know what that means. But if you're trying to convince me that this is a better card than I think it is, cool, you win. The days of me arguing with people about what cards are better are long gone. Don't care. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm bad. You're good. I was trying to get competitive with a game that just isn't designed to be that way anymore. And like, I don't need to do that. That's not good for my health. Okay. Well, just so you know, if I say I don't like a card and you say it has the highest win rate, that is arguing. But like I said, that's a whole nother argument because I believe you're playing best of one, which is functionally a different game than what I'm playing. I want the other three here. The Chain Devil doesn't do anything against them, but another solid blocker would be quite nice. Oh yeah, that's why it's blocked. You can't tell me stuff about it being a high win rate or whatever. Thank you, Painter. That's it. Also, like I'm going through a transition period in my life. I have realized that I am not a professional streamer right now. I am a professional dad who streams some. And this is no longer something I feel like I have to be right about. This is my fun time, my happy time. And arguing is not fun or happy. So, not gonna do that. I'll probably have somewhere around 12 hours a week to stream as opposed to 40. That's a whole different perspective to take on streaming. Like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And if, like, I think really what I'm positioned as far as a teacher is not to teach somebody, obviously not to teach somebody how to get Mythic and Best of One and don't play it, right? And not to teach you to be the best Magic player. It's to introduce you to Draft. It's to get you the basics. If you want to go further than that, cool, you can do that. And you can do it here, you can find other people to do it with. Either way is fine.
If I understand math correctly, I am 6 months away from 666 months, Pride gasp.
That is the number of the beast. Hail Satan. Y'all spam some sim raves for Zombob. Thank you, my friend. I do quite hope things are well in your world, my friend. And hope it's not too harsh a winter. Well, there you go, man. Oh, I have been comboed. I bet they pump it. We'll see. My opponent has shown me some interesting play decisions, and given that, I'm trying to take advantage of them. And I'm kind of able to do that pretty easily here. I don't know how in the hell they're recovering from that. Thank you very much, Zombub. Ermagirda Horror. Let's get Archerus. Have you ever had Follow the Tracks be lethal? Because I have. You just saw it. Killed somebody with a Follow the Tracks to the face. That's what we did. Gotta love it when a plan comes together. That was not too bad. It's not too bad. Had a good time. And a very big thank you to my patrons. Thank you, Punk, Joe, Jesse, Jacob, Scott, Basti, Rich, Brandon, Jazzy, Craig, and Geis. I appreciate y'all.